Hello, everyone, to episode 7 of Your Take, My Take by John and Jacob. I'm John.
I'm Jacob.
And today we'll be talking about our Sweet 16 picks for the NCAA tournament. We will give you some bad news about our round 1 and 2. I didn't do very well. Jacob did a lot better, but I'm glad that that's over because that was pure madness, and that's why it's called March Madness. But as we traditionally do, we will start off with a coin flip. Jacob, I'll let you call it. You won last week. Let's make it 2.
Hopefully I can win again.
All right, ready? You call it in there.
Heads.
It's heads.
Oh, let's go.
So I'll let you choose.
You can go first.
All right. So first of all, I want to let you know that I think Jacob and I's analysis of round 1 and 2 was pretty accurate. It was pretty good. Yeah. It's just some things came up where things just didn't go our way, and I'll be the first one to admit the Big Ten, you really sucked it up this week, this tournament. You had 9 teams in the tournament, and only 8 of you guys advanced past the first weekend. And out of all the 9 teams, Michigan is the only team that advanced to the second round or to the Sweet 16, and that just makes me more upset because I don't want them to be the only team in there, but. Illinois, you ruined my bracket. You probably ruined 50% of the brackets out there. Ohio State, I will never vote for you ever again. And Iowa, let's just say Iowa just sucked. And so the teams that we expected the Big Ten to do well did awful. And the one team that I wanted to lose, Michigan, actually won. Yeah. So that tells you that my analysis of the Big Ten was off. But everyone else, I think we did pretty well. There were some upsets that was unpredicted. If you watch back of the video, it's always the ones that I made fun of, like North Texas, Abilene Christian. We didn't even know they had a basketball program, but you know what? They won. So here are my Sweet 16 picks. I think they're accurate, and I will give you the Sweet 16 picks. So I'll start off with the West bracket. It's number 1 versus number 5 Creighton. I'll just go say Gonzaga. Gonzaga's playing out of their mind. They have legitimate pros on their team, Jalen Suggs, Kispert, and also, you know who played real well is Drew Timme. Drew Timme scored 30 in the second round, and that's someone that I didn't expect to be posting those kind of numbers. But if he can post those numbers with Suggs and Kispert doing their thing, I think they would be unbeatable. So I think that's probably my safest pick to go into the Elite 8. The other matchup is USC versus number 6 USC versus number 7 Oregon. I have USC winning this one. It's unfair. I think there's two Pac-12 teams that are playing really well. They play each other in the regular season. It would be a good matchup. I think USC is playing out of their mind, especially the Mobley brothers that are doing really well. I just have USC winning a really close game because, like I said, they know each other. They played against each other. They know how to play against each other. It's too unfortunate. I think both of these teams stack up well in other brackets, but they play each other. So let's go down to the East bracket. Number 1, Michigan versus number 4, Florida State. I had this matchup in my original picks. I have Florida State still winning. Like I said, I think Michigan is a good team. They're not fully healthy. They have one of their best players, Isaiah Livers, is out. Yep. I don't know if he'll be back, and so that's why I have Florida State. Florida State is showing their length, their athletic ability, and the fact that they can ground out games. And the other side of the East is number 11 UCLA versus number 2 Alabama. Dang it, UCLA. If Michigan State could have beaten UCLA, I think Michigan State would be in this pick like I predicted, but UCLA won the overtime game against Michigan State, totally destroyed BYU, and handled their business. And so I think UCLA is playing well, but I don't have them winning. I have Alabama winning. I think Alabama's team, as you see with Herb Jones, and their guard play is going to win out in that game. So I have number 2 Alabama is advancing to the Elite 8. So to the other side, I have in the South, Baylor versus Villanova. I have to give props to Villanova. They know how to win tournament games. It's going to end for them. Baylor is better. If Villanova had their point guard, I think it would be a lot closer game. But unfortunately, they don't. Baylor is going to expose that, and they're going to win that game. On the other side, we have number 3 Arkansas versus 15 Oral Roberts. I love the Oral Roberts story. I love the fact that they beat Ohio State because I hate Ohio State. Even though it killed my bracket, I'm still happy.
It didn't kill mine.
I'm still happy they beat Ohio State because that's how much I hate Ohio State. But I think it ends here. I think Arkansas is playing very well, and so I have Arkansas advancing. Number 3, Arkansas advancing to the Elite Eight. The Midwest. I think this was the toughest out of all the regions, and they have Loyola Chicago, the 8 seed, going against the 12 seed Oregon State. This was a tough one. Sister Jean, I voted against her every single time. I'm going to vote against her again.
Oh my goodness.
I have Oregon State winning that. They won the Pac-12 tournament. They've been playing out of their mind in the first 2 rounds, and now they're in the Sweet 16. I think they're going to extend it. They have depth. When Jacob and I saw them play, we were surprised about how big they were and how well they played. And so the fact that I didn't see them play very often, but then saw them play in the tournament, I was impressed enough to say that I think they can beat Chicago. They have to stop their big center, Kirkwood. If they can slow him down, I think they have a chance. In the other bracket, they have number 11 Syracuse versus number 2 Houston. What can I say about Jim Boeheim, especially about his son Buddy? They're playing great. But they play that tough zone defense, and they know how to shoot the ball. But they're running against a very good Houston team. I have Houston winning that. Quentin Grimes for Houston is a legitimate zone buster. He's a future NBA shooting guard. I think he will have a big game. They will need other players to step up, but they play tough defense, and they have legitimate scores on their perimeter. I think that's enough to beat Syracuse. So, again, here are my picks. Those are my 6. And Jacob and I did not compare notes before, so you're going to hear Jacob's take, but this is my
very similar to
my
this.
Sweet 16 picks going to the Elite Eight. Jacob, let me see yours.
All right, my picks. You can see this. But I have Gonzaga winning the first round in the West. Gonzaga, I picked them to win the whole thing. They've been playing really well right now. Very happy about that. They are really good on defense. They play out of their mind on defense, and they're hitting shots right now. So I think that they'll easily beat Creighton. And, yeah. The next one is the USC Oregon. I like USC. I watch their game. They have so many big people on their team. They have so many long and lengthy people on their team. And yeah. Now in the East, I have Michigan and Florida State. I like Florida State better. Michigan, they're just not that good, I think.
Whoa. They're having a really good year.
Still, they're not that good.
All right. You can hate I hate Michigan more than anybody else, but I recognize when they're having a good season. They are having a good season. And like I said, if they had their best overall offensive player, I think Michigan would win this game. But again, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
I still don't think they would win. I don't like the Big Ten teams this year. They really screwed me over in the Midwest region. I had most of them losing first round. So, yeah. UCLA and Alabama. Juzang's playing out of his mind right now. But I like Alabama's team better. I feel like they have better shooters and they have a better overall team. Now in the South, I have Baylor. I think their guards are really good. They play out of their minds. They've been playing as a really good team recently. So I think that Baylor will beat Villanova. Texas Tech and Arkansas, I got this one right.
Wait, it's not Texas Tech. It's Oral Roberts.
Oh, it is Oral Roberts?
Yeah, Oral Roberts in Arkansas.
Well, it wouldn't mind.
It wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. Texas Tech or Oral Roberts.
Well, of course, we know who won that Arkansas-Texas Tech game because Arkansas beat Texas Tech.
They already played each other. That's my fault. But
you still have Arkansas beating Oral Roberts.
Yeah, I still have Arkansas. I like their team better. Oral Roberts is always going to be a special place. I always will like them because they beat Ohio State. And yeah, so in the Midwest, first one is Loyola Chicago and Oregon State. I've always been against Sister Jean. I think it's time to join her now. I'm going to go with Loyola Chicago. They're really good. Their big man's really good. They play their offense through him. He's been playing really good. They played and beat Illinois with pretty easily. So I think that they should take down Oregon State. The next one is Syracuse and Houston. I think that Grimes is a really good player. I think that Houston's got more athletes, and I think that they'll beat Syracuse. So that's my picks.
So what's interesting is that out of the games that are going on the Sweet 16, Jacob and I did not compare notes before this episode, and we had only one difference, and the difference was he went with Sister Jean and Loyola Chicago, and I went with Oregon State, who's riding the hot team. If you look at our earlier analysis, you would see that the teams that were upset, we did explain how they had some weaknesses and it could be upsetted, and they were upset. And so I think our takes were pretty on, our evaluations were on. It's impossible to pick every single pick right. And as you can see, there's not 100% correct bracket right now. And we're only in the Sweet 16. So even after round 1 and 2, out of the millions and millions of brackets, there isn't one correct team. And so the fact that, Jacob's 1 or 2 in both leagues that we're doing. I'm in the mid pack because of Illinois and the Big Ten.
He's dead last.
my bias to the Big Ten hurt me, and I'll be the first one to recognize it. That the Big Ten, you let me down. You let me down a lot of times, but this time it really hurt because there was talk that the Big Ten was the strongest league of all times because we put 9 teams in there. In 9 teams, we had a chance to win it all. We had some teams that could have been on a roll, but we couldn't do it. And so they were a disappointment. And so our picks, I think, are pretty close. You can tell us who you think had a better, obviously, well, it's very similar. But tell us what you think in terms of who you think will advance to the Elite Eight. We will come back and give us another take of the Elite Eight. And when that comes around, and hopefully we're better on the Sweet 16 round than we were on round 1 and 2. As I said, round 1 and 2, there were a lot of crazy upsets, a lot of higher seeds winning. And so I think when it gets closer to these brackets, where it's the Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, you'll see the better teams start shaking out. I think that's what happens. I think Baylor and Gonzaga are probably the 2 favorites to go all the way. But what do you think? Baylor before they had COVID issues was probably the 1 or 2 right behind Gonzaga. But what do you think
about Baylor?
Yeah.
Oh, I really like Baylor. I think their guards are good. They're a really good shooting team, and they've been playing really well as an overall team, and their defense is playing really well. So yeah, I like them. I have them in my Final Four, and yeah, I like them.
Out of all the players that who out of all the teams left, who have you been most impressed with?
USC. They've been playing really well.
No, one player.
Oh, it's not Evan Mobley. This is a hard one. I think I've been really surprised by Loyola Chicago's center. I forgot his name. It's like Krugwig or something.
He's good. I mentioned him as the college basketball joker. And I think Jacob mocked me when I said that, but he's legit. The offense goes through him.
It's a joke, though, but...
Why is it a joke? He's legitimately...
You can't compare Jokic to this guy because Jokic is a better passer,
I'm talking
way better shooter.
A college version. I'm not saying he's better than the Joker. I'm saying he's similar to the Joker and how they use him.
Yeah, how they use him, but his skills, no, but how they use him, yes.
So the player that I've been most impressed with is Johnny Juzang.
Oh, yes, that's a good one, too.
He's my half Asian brother out there, and I love to see him balling. And he's been putting up huge numbers. I think he's putting up numbers that were comparable to the best all times in score in the first 2 rounds. Mm-hmm. And so, and even though he killed Michigan State, he also killed BYU, just like we had predicted. And so he's been most impressive in terms of scoring as a player. But I agree with you. I think Kirkwood is probably the most important person for their team because of what he does.
Yep.
And so I agree with you on that. So let us know. Comment, like us, subscribe to us. Let us know who you agree with more. But I hope you're enjoying the tournament. I love the tournament. Yep. Jacob loves. We've hung out at Native. And we also hung out at B-Dubs, and they keep asking us how long you're staying, and we're saying, hey, we'll stay here until the whole tournament's done. And so we love it. I hope you guys love it, and enjoy. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Let us know, and thank you, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the night. And, again, enjoy March Madness. Thank you.